Here we are on the main NotebookLM page. You can see there's several projects I'm working on. And in fact, if you scroll down, you'll see there's some example notebooks you can take a look at, including Introduction to NotebookLM. But I'm going to dive into my Good Newsletter notebook. So here you can see along the side, we have several different documents. I have divided up the text from all of my newsletters by year. So when I click on my newsletter from 2019, the AI does a source guide, prints out a summary, and also key topics in that particular collection of documents. And of course, you can actually look at all the content I uploaded. Each of my newsletters, number 1, 2, and 3, etc. Let's close that and go back to, let's look at 2023. And again, it does a source guide pretty quickly. It reads everything and summarizes everything. And again, shows my key topics, AI tools, ChatGPT, etc. So you can query all sources together. So if I check the box, all of them are checked. And then it actually prompts you, gives you some ideas on what to ask. So I clicked on how does the author believe AI, especially tools like Gemini, can be utilized to enhance the educational experience for both educators and students? And it gives a pretty good summary. And I kind of clicked that the feedback was submitted that I liked that, and the feedback was submitted successfully. Here's another one. How does AI enhance drug discovery? Of course, you can type in your own questions, but it's interesting that it can prompt you for asking questions. And you can decide to pin that particular response. You can see the pin up in the right-hand corner. And there's also citations, so it can tell you where that information came from. And it'll take you right to the section in my newsletter where I discussed that particular topic. Let's try reference number 5 there, citation number 5. So it takes you right to that section. Once you pin something, it appears in a cluster of notes. So these are things that you've saved when you've done your queries. You can also just create your own note on the spur of the moment. Just click in there and create a note. So here's a note I saved in just looking at the 2022 and 2023. Here are the responses that I came up with. The main flaws and the diet-heart hypothesis is one of my pet peeves about modern medicine. They are not up to speed when it comes to this. So this list the main flaws in the diet-heart hypothesis, that fats cause heart disease. They don't. Sugar causes heart disease. So you can see I've saved several notes here, and you can label them however you want. I usually label them by the year if I'm just looking at one collection. So here's how it responded when I said, how does a good newsletter promote optimism? By focusing on positive aspects, etc. I had asked it to summarize each of the collections, the main themes in each of those collections, and it did a pretty good job of that. Of course, you can ask your own questions, obviously. So let's suggest some areas in AI that I have not covered in my newsletter, and that might be a good topic for future issues. So it's saying that it can only say what I have said, so it's not going out onto the web and finding information. I did not mention other areas of AI that have not been covered, so that question really, I guess, wasn't appropriate. Although it is expounding a little bit on how AI can be used to predict the shape of proteins, can be used to analyze large data sets, and AI formulated drugs are already being tested in humans. How about what are some connections between AI and optimism that you can suggest for upcoming newsletters. So it's just saying how I express significant optimism about AI's ability. So here are some of the connections. AI for faster, cheaper drug developments, AI for early diagnosis and personalized medicine, AI for solving global challenges, human ingenuity amplified by AI, positive impact on education and accessibility, highlighting inspirational stories. So here are some good angles that I could cover in future issues. In addition to generative AI, what are other types of AI that I should be talking about? I've been talking a lot about generative AI, and I know I've covered other AI topics, but let's see what NotebookLM comes up with. So I did a lot of generative AI, such as ChatGPT, DALL-E, ID, and so forth, but I didn't talk much about protein folding, AI for drug discovery, AI for diagnosis, for environmental monitoring, for pandemic prediction. So these are topics that I may have touched on, but I could certainly expand on in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this brief tour. You can probably imagine how you could use it, especially if you're doing research. You're investigating other people's documents instead of just your own. So I think it would be a great way to, if you're doing research on a given topic and you upload your reprints, your articles, and find connections between them, I think that would be a fantastic use of NotebookLM.